We are live. Hello and welcome back. I know it's been a while, and I think I said this last time. You think you can get rid of us, but just keep coming back. Welcome back to a wonderful session of Players of the Realms, and we are going to be joining our party on another bit of shenanigans that they're going to be getting themselves into. Before we get anywhere, of course, I've got to start with the shameless advertisements, so please check us out on Patreon. Support us on Patreon. Check us out on YouTube. We have our Twitch. We have our Instagram, all located at Players of the Realms. And from any of them, you can access our store that we use through Selfie. We do have a growing supply of merchandise, specifically as Selfie adds more to their supply. Now, that's out of the way, we can start getting to the party. So, everybody, party, say hi to our hopeful audience.
Hi!
Hi, hopeful audience.
Sup?
Hello.
All right. With it being 2 weeks, and unfortunately we are going to be missing a goblin this evening, who wants to help us out with the recap?
I can.
Alrighty. Take it away.
Uh,
And tonight I feel generous, so your party can have an inspiration.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, in the last session, okay. We got back to the Drunken Drake. Kind of discussed what was going to be happening in the next couple of days. I believe we had 2 days to ourselves to kind of do with what we needed to. In that time, we went to talk to our boss, whose name I wrote down and absolutely remember. It's not Arender.
Horden Dior.
Diorian. We met back with Diorian. He was not pleased that we came back so early, but we did want to discuss some finer points. Gearfried gave him Cogfried to keep an eye on because he wanted to have a quick. He didn't want it to look suspicious with the metal dragon walking in with him. I believe Levin had some business he wanted arranged in there as well at some point. I remember him talking a lot at that point, but I did not write what he talked down specifically. There was also some shenanigans that went on between Saris trying to pull one over on Fennec, Gearfried and Fennec, then getting a little bit of revenge. And we had not yet set off to go to guard the mansion.
Alrighty. Anybody have any
I probably
other
missed
details?
some stuff.
Anybody have any other details they want to add to it?
Not Fennec. Saris is gonna kill somebody.
Okay.
I'd say at least one somebody's.
I can think of several somebodies.
Great. Everything's fine.
Particularly the halfling that you all so adored.
Halfling death.
Oh, that guy.
Ultimately, the last session, you had wrapped up everything you needed with what you were doing with the party. You had an opportunity to look around the city for a little bit. I believe some of you had gone and done some errands, and then had made your way off to the tower where, not to the tower, but to Horden Diorian's estate, where, yes, he was less than satisfied that people from the party made their appearance on a day that was unexpected. But you were able to talk yourselves out of the situation, and we ended where you had returned to the tavern, and Seth, the dwarven bard, is playing.
Isn't he an elf right now?
He is.
Or he was an elf before?
He's been a dwarf. He was an elf at one point, or at least coincidentally, there was an elf bard named Seth.
All right, what time of day is it?
I would say it's late afternoon, going on to early evening.
Okay, got it. Like around 6, 7
About.
p.m.
Yep.
About. Got it. All right.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna leave you all behind for a quick second. If we're going to be gone for the next week or two, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the car. I'll be right back. Gearfried goes off to deal with that.
Alrighty. And for the rest of you, what would you like to be doing?
Well, if the rest of you don't mind, I'm going to go and purchase some mundane supplies. Is there anything that anyone needs while I'm out?
You know what? I'll come with you. I mean, I can't think of anything on top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I can think on the way. If you don't mind company.
I have no objections.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna look at Cyrus and you.
No, I'm fine. I'll wait here.
Alright, just keep your hands in your pockets while we're gone.
Don't make me kill you.
As I chuckle and follow Levin out.
Ceres, Millie, anything while we're out?
No, thank you.
Footballs wouldn't hurt.
I'll prepare a set.
Much
No, thank you.
appreciated.
I'm fine.
All right.
Alrighty, so as they leave, Gearfried, you two have left. Fennec, he's going to go up to his room. Sarah, what would you like to do? We're going to start with you.
Does Ceres want to do? Really have any plans at the moment. Just kind of waiting the day out. So, I mean, she might just kind of hang out in the tavern for a little bit, chat with Mei Li if she's so inclined.
She would be inclined to chat, and, you can chat about little mundane things. Doesn't have to be anything serious.
Oh yeah, no, Ceres doesn't want to, engage in meaningful conversations, just chit-chat.
Over the course of the next hour, a human individual is going to approach Mei Li.
Mhm.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to dance? As a more upbeat, kind of jiving music starts playing.
Narrows
Mei Li-
eyes.
Mei Li turns a kind of a reddish hued color as she looks up, unsure of how to answer. How do you respond?
Ceres will sort of have a blank expression and is like, if you want to dance, it's alright. Don't let me stop you. Glaring at the guy.
Alrighty. So I'm going to leave this up to Lady Luck. Ceres, even or odds?
Odd. Poor boy. He doesn't deserve to die.
She's going to go and dance.
Aw.
Would Gearfried have returned by this point?
I'm going to say not with... You would be returning at about this point. So I'm going to be jumping from character to character, and you're going to have about an hour before you're able to either choose not to return to the tavern or return to the tavern at this site. So, we see that Mei Li is standing up, and she is about to go and dance. We're going to jump to Gearfried.
We'll watch them dance. Like a hawk. Just, if he tries anything, his life is forfeit. Anything to put her in danger, to be clear. Everything else just makes Ceres hate him a little more.
Gotcha. So Gearfried, you've made your way back to your vehicle. You have found one of the few lots where you're able to store said vehicles. It is under the control of the House Orion. What would you like to do?
I would like to walk up to any attendant. I assume there's someone here who handles payment.
Indeed. So you would walk up to a small little building that is not well furnished. It's kind of like, think of the equivalent of like a boat shack in a sense.
Right.
A boat rental shack. And it is going to be a human behind the counter, and he is kind of lean framed. His hair is long, shoulder length brown. He's got the beard and goatee going. Oh, what can I do for you?
Evening. I'm looking to store my my cruiser. I figured this would be a good spot as any.
You're gonna see him yawn. Sure. How long are you gonna be?
2 weeks. About that.
Alright. Before I go any further, you do understand it is going to be 5 gold pieces a day.
5 gold pieces? You serious?
100%. And he's going to point to a sign that says 5 gold pieces per day.
Alright, I've worked with House Orion long enough to know not to argue about shit like this. Alright, here you go. And I pull out my coin purse and pick out about 70 gold. Or exactly 70 gold. Place it on the counter.
And you're going to see that he starts filling out paperwork as you're pulling out the gold.
She's not the prettiest, but try not to scratch her.
Yeah. I need your signature here.
Right. I sign it.
And he is going to take the golds, put it away, take the paperwork, put it away, and he's going to ask you to lead me to the vehicle, please.
Yeah, sure. And I take him out towards Carpe Diem.
He's going to look at the vehicle. You sure it was worth it?
Alright, look, I get enough from another last of my traveling group. I don't need to get it from you two, alright?
All right. Listen, you already paid me. I won't say anything. He's going to get into the vehicle and drive it in a more of an over-dramatically cautious way, since you warned him not to scratch it. And you're just going to kind of see him snicker after he passes you. Like if you look back in the mirror.
Alright, Gary. Alright. Poor tempers temper poorly. I'm going back to the fucking place. I'm not going to kill this mechanic. Alright. And I'm going to walk to the Drunken Drake, however long that takes.
It is going to take you about the half hour, which is going to bring you back to, as I said, that point in which we left.
Alright. I walk in and immediately just start unloading where Saris is sitting.
Before we get there, pause before you enter. Levin and Yami, you leave before any of this happens. You leave after Gearfried. You are making your way. Are you moving directly to a merchant area, or are you doing any sightseeing?
Levin is not one to divert from a task, so he'll be going immediately to any merchants that would be available in the early afternoon.
And I'd be following along. I'll be sightseeing as we're going the route that he's going.
If you lag behind, you're going to lose me.
No, I'm keeping pace, but I'm looking around like, okay, like just, alright, I'm just here tagging along.
Okay.
Assuming your mind is elsewhere.
Exactly. I'm still following, but I'm just thinking about other stuff, like looking around.
You would
Go ahead.
Nope, I'm not giving any major description. It's just changing maps. You would see the vast city of Rote directly in front of you. As you're looking around at the taller buildings, Yami, what is the normal structures that you're used to, besides being at the library?
It'd be like, honestly, so I'm used to being on the outskirts, always fighting monsters in like caves, valleys, wild. I mean, I've been to villages and maybe towns, but cities is kind of like, I'm still kind of like I've been to a few cities, but not very. It's rare for me. Like, there's really no reason for me to be in cities with my line of work. So I'm still like, I'm used to it, but I'm still kind of like in awe. Like, a tourist going to New York City or something. Like, oh wow,
So,
this is nice.
so you're like that perpetual tourist who, no matter how many times they go into the city, they're always looking up at the buildings, going, "Wow,
Yeah, like
very cool."
yeah, literally just like that. Yes, cool. All right, that's nice. Not starstruck, but like, oh wow.
Alrighty. As you're looking up, you would see various vehicles flying overhead. You would see well-developed buildings. You would see magical messengers kind of flying around, whether they're animal items or magic flying papers floating over. You would eventually get to the store that you have gone to on multiple occasions. Hello, how can I help you?
Good day to you. I have a list of some basic items that I am preparing for a trip to Sharn. Would you be able to help me? And I show him the list showing chalk, 2 steel mirrors, 2 signal whistles, basic climbing kit, crowbar.
And you notice that as he kind of takes the list, he's immediately going to start picking out those items as if he has everything memorized in the somewhat chaos that is his store. It doesn't take him very long until they're all piled neatly onto the counter. And how about for you? And he's gonna look
Me,
at Yami.
I have to say, yeah, me. I'm not really here for nothing particular. I got everything at least I think I need for now. You know what? You have health potions?
I do.
I could take one of those.
Of course, but do remember that you never know what you need until you need it, and you don't have it.
Exactly.
So that's going to be 50 gold pieces.
Would 45 be okay?
55
Don't short
gold
the man,
pieces.
it's fairly standard. If you don't have it, I'll spot you the 5.
Nah, I haven't. But I learned from everybody else here that haggling is common. But I got 50. It's alright.
Oh no, the price is now 55.
I have 50.
Give me a persuasion check.
I am terrible at these. May the rolls be with me.
May the ones be with you, sir.
Yep. That's your fault.
Ha ha!
I blame you.
55.
You know what? I like your moxie. Here's 5 to the better man, so I'll pay 55. I have the monies.
Alrighty. Pleasure doing business with you. And he's going to ring you up. I believe it was 28 gold pieces for you, Levin.
28 and 2 silver.
There we go. He is just going to charge you the 28.
Alrighty.
So just 1 potion of healing, right?
Is that all you wanted? He has more than that.
I have to go and get a crossbow case and crossbow bolts for Ceres. I'm not asking for that in the general store. I'm going to go to the guy I went to previous.
Okay.
So I'm just going to add the health potion real quick. Alright.
So, sorry, Yami, what is it you wanted?
Oh, just a potion of healing.
Did you want another one?
That I paid 50. No, just the 55 one. I'm just letting you know I'm adding it now to my sheet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, come back again if you would like anything. I also carry magical items. Tell your friends.
I do have an inquiry on that front. What do you have available for traversal?
And he's going to think for a moment before he pulls out a pair of boots. These are not boots. I'm going to just backtrack that a little bit. Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
These are, as I'm told, gloves of swimming and climbing.
And what performance would I expect from this?
Well, they tend to help aid in athletic abilities when you're climbing or swimming.
All right, so if these are meant to facilitate such activities, what would be a fair price from you for these?
Well, normally I charge 500 gold pieces, but what's your offer?
I'm more asking for an interested party. I myself am currently on a budget specific to items for travel, and I would have to bring this sum to them to then continue this transaction. So if you're saying 500, then I would have to talk with them.
Well, you know where I'll be.
Understood, and thank you for the inquiry.
Anytime. As I said, tell your friends. We often get new magical items by every other day or every other week, depending on when the merchants come by.
Understood, thank you. And Levin's going to take his, going to walk off.
All right.
Well, the crossbow store, right, Levin? Or where you get the weapons?
We're going to a smithy. I'm getting bolts.
Perfect. I might require something.
And with that, you would know the normal way to get to the blacksmith, the smithy where you've been buying your tools. You enter, and it's almost he is there's a dwarf standing behind the counter of this time, and he kind of nods his head as you enter. Well, hello there. Welcome.
Greetings. I was wondering if I could procure a set of bolts from you.
Of course. How many do you need?
20 plus a case, and I was wondering if I could request a small aesthetic customization to the case.
Depending on the customization, can take a while, or a little bit.
Just a strap of dyed leather for the holster.
That could be
Just to identify it different from the two cases that you see at my hip.
That could be done. And with that, he's going to start gathering the bolts and the case. What color dyed leather would you like?
I don't see what color she favors. Let's go with a dark blue.
All right. This is going to take me about about an hour to get done.
Oh, that's fine. I'll wait outside if you need me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Yami, what did you need? I will warn you that I prefer doing business here, so please mind your manners.
oh no, all I need is a longbow and some arrows.
Then you would want a bowyer. And a Fletcher. You can ask him where you could find one.
Alright, that's if he doesn't have any already on hand or wants to sell any, I'll go there. Excuse me, sir, yeah, do you have any longbows on hand?
I have a couple of longbows on hand, but a couple of stores down is my brother-in-law's shop, and he is able to make anything customized, but he's going to take a longbow off of the wall He's going to put it down. This is going to cost you 70 gold pieces.
70.
Indeed.
Do you have a short bow?
I do. Would you like a long bow or a short bow?
How much is the short bow?
35 gold pieces.
I will take the short bow and some arrows, please.
Indeed. And he's going to put back the longbow. And he is going to grab you some arrows. The arrows are going to cost you 7 silver pieces.
Okay. So how much gold was it?
35 gold pieces and 7 silver. In total.
Alrighty.
With that, are you going to be waiting with Aaron for the next hour? With Levin for the next hour?
Yep.
You don't have to keep yourself here, you know.
Honestly, I'd rather peace and quiet than dealing with the others right now. So I don't mind.
All right. If you feel like talking, I'll listen, but I might not have anything to contribute.
Well, I mean, I have some questions. Like, what really brings you here? Like, what do you do this for?
That's a bit of a broad question.
What's your goal?
Ultimately, or for today?
Ultimately, if you want to answer.
Honestly, I would rather live my life well.
Can agree to that one.
Peace and quiet is preferable, but that's not going to happen, especially not so soon after the war.
Well, that war. I mean, it was good for business on my end, at least. So the monster hunters, whatnot. But
If that was the case, why didn't you employ yourself in Karnath?
I'd rather kill monsters, and I'm not really one for politics.
Then you may want to update your information on the nations, because all of them will employ monster hunters. It's just a matter of what you want to hunt.
This is why I need Fennec. He knows all the books. He knows all the reading, so I don't have to.
Wait, didn't you say you came from Korenberg?
Yeah.
Isn't that quite literally a library?
I was in and out. I was only really there to visit Fennec and Mech.
How did you not go stir crazy the entire time? And he's gonna lean back and look up at the sky.
Yeah. Definitely was stir crazy.
Well, enjoy peace and quiet while you have it.
Yep, and I'm gonna just sit down somewhere
Alrighty.
for the next hour.
With that, we're going to jump back to the tavern. You're free. You walk into the scene, and the first thing that you see is Mei Li and this human individual twirling about the tavern as Seth, the dwarven bard, and several other bardic members of his band are playing a upbeat swing music styled song.
Are they the only ones dancing, or are there other people dancing too?
There's about 2 other couples dancing.
All right. Gearfried will take note of that. Not really address it much. Just kind of be like, oh. Walk over towards where Saris is sitting, and I'm just launching into. That fucking cost me 70 goddamn gold. you believe how fucking expensive this place is?
She put 70 gold on the table.
I don't want your fucking money. I want to complain.
And I want you to shut up.
You're awfully chatty right now.
I'm busy.
Yeah, I should say so. Normally you'd have some sort of retort about why I shouldn't, or why I should steal money, or how I'm poor with money. What's got you so occupied right now?
Nothing. Everything's fine. I'm busy.
Insight check.
Ceres, would you mind an insight check against you?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you can roll with, are you attempting to deceive?
Ceres is so focused on what she's doing right now, she's not really paying attention to him, so she's not trying to do anything.
So
That's
with
what
your, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it.
My question is, are you looking fixatedly at them?
Yes.
So with your 13, Gearfried, you would be able to trace her line of sight to see what she was watching so closely. And as the song comes to an end, Meili is about to walk back until another fast-paced song picks up. And the individual kind of coerces her into another dance.
Ceres puts a hand on the dagger hilt.
Gearfried will he'll look at them and just kind of do that, he'll double take, look at them, look at Ceres, look back at them, look back at Ceres, and just kind of grin a little bit. You have really got some sort of overprotective thing with her, don't you?
What? What are you talking about? No, just, I can relate. We have similar sort of histories, I guess. Want to avoid mistakes.
You're similar to her.
No.
That's what you're telling me.
No. I feel sorry for her.
So you pity her?
No.
Well, I certainly do, judging by the way that young man is moving. He does not know how to dance.
Should I kill him for that?
Well, I hardly think that he's going to try to spirit her away. Actually, now I think about it, no one ever actually gave me the finer details of what exactly happened that first night I met you all. When that gentleman from the, was it Sharn, or whoever was in charge of something tried to take her away from you, and you got awfully sore by that. What was that all about, anyway?
Oh, that's...
Sorry to interrupt just for a moment. For a quick flashback, in case anybody wasn't sure what they were talking about. Back in New Siri, the emissary of the king there is the one who had requested Meili be given up to the king in order to exchange so that the army of death did not march on that new kingdom of Siri. I'm out of there. Go ahead.
We met her in a caravan, and there were some weird happenings. We rescued her from a kidnapping attempt, I believe.
All right, but what? My question, I guess, is why was some government type trying to convince you all to let him have her?
The thing, I really never followed up. It didn't seem important at the time, more so than getting her away. But anytime, a noble walks up and says, "Please give me that person," I don't think it's ever been historically good.
I mean, no arguing with you there, but it just seems a little bit suspicious that out of every person in New Siri, he would pick out her.
I mean, she's just some passenger in a caravan who had the misfortune of being targeted by weird shadows.
And that didn't peg you all as suspicious?
I mean, she's my bodyguard now.
Can I roll an insight on that?
You
Sure.
certainly
I
can.
mean, not on the bodyguard part. On the explanation of she was just some person. Like, am I getting the sense that she's not telling me something? Is what, I guess what I'm.
I will make this very simple. I am never going to say no to, like, insight checks, perception checks.
All right,
You can just
go
roll
ahead.
them.
15 again. I'm consistent tonight.
Yes, points for consistency.
So, are you looking to persuade him right now, or deceive him? Go ahead and roll.
So I do this like secret to you, right?
Yes.
Or okay.
All right. Gearfried, you're left with the feeling that it's more of a half-truth, but it's also one of those things that you're never going to get the full truth until it has to come out type of situation.
Right.
So it's like you're getting the cherry-picked information of it.
Right.
And you
I
kind of
wasn't
know
pushing
it.
for more information. I wasn't really pushing for more information, just that, like, you know, whether or not she was not giving me the whole story, and if I at least know that, then I'm satisfied.
Now,
Gearfried will then.
Sorry, go ahead.
Gearfried will just kind of lean. Gearfried will just kind of lean back, watching Melee and this young man dancing, and just be like, "All right, whatever you say."
Saris, did you look away during your conversation with Gearfried?
God no.
Okay. So you would notice that as they're dancing, he is leading her towards where the two other couples are dancing, and they begin to become obstructed from direct view.
That's not good. Saris will slowly get up and start to just. She's gonna kind of walk around the perimeter of like the, I guess, dancing space. She's not gonna try to interfere, but she is always gonna keep Melee in sight.
Alrighty. And with that, the song does end, and she does walk off back towards the table.
And Saris will also go back to the table.
And with that, the tavern returns to a more of a normal, tranquil scene. The guy she was dancing with goes back to his table, but you do notice that his eyes keep flickering back towards her.
I'm going to kill him.
Did you enjoy yourself, Melee?
It was quite interesting. I've never really danced to that type of music before.
It's pretty common here in Rote, at least as far as I've heard. At least Seth seems to be pretty consistent with what he's playing. He has a style.
He is a good bard. And you notice that she is kind of breathing a little bit heavy from the exertion of dancing.
Need a water or something?
Oh no, and she's gonna pick up her mug. I've got ale. Thank you. And she's gonna drink some.
Ted, he didn't
Yep.
ask any questions? Any interesting conversation points?
Not really. He told me
Oh.
his name was Heron.
How do you spell that?
Heron, like the bird.
Ah. Interesting, fascinating. Great. Love to know it.
Yes, he's just visiting.
You don't say. When is he departing?
I don't know. He said that he's a merchant, so he had some business he had to take care of. but he'd be around for the next couple of weeks. Well,
Oh,
a few weeks.
weeks. See. Seems awfully long. What do I know? Not a merchant. Sure, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Are you sure? You look a little upset.
No, sorry. I'm just thinking of tonight and, doing the guarding thing and hanging out at the mansion for the Dorian. That'll be great. That's gonna be such a chore. Am I right? I'm right. Yes.
Hopefully, it's a pretty estate. We've only.
I mean, we saw the
outside.
inside.
You would have only seen the entrance and the ballroom, not the entirety of the house.
Well, if it's anything like the ballroom, I'm sure it's going to be magnificent. Can't imagine they just pretty up one room.
We'll have time to kill, though. I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunity to just sort of mill about. If you want to learn anything about artifice, I'm open to teaching you.
I mean, I knew how to fix your car. I don't think I'm pretty sure I know plenty.
All right, Saris. Look, I just got done talking with a very, very snarky mechanic. I don't have the mental capacity and the wit to deal with you right now.
Of course. We'll settle for me being right then. Fair compromise.
Is that a
Say
fair
so.
compromise?
You know what? It smells right to me.
Clint.
With that, we're going to jump ahead about an hour. And we're going to jump back to the blacksmith, to the smithy shop, where Levin and Yami are currently, and you are called back to be able to get your crossbow bolt case. Here you go. Hopefully, it is to your liking.
Levin's going to look it over as he's mentioning this.
It is quality work.
Oh, of that I've no doubt. Huh. You even made sure to protect the interior strap.
Of course.
Yami, this is why I like coming here.
I can see why. As I kind of like eye it over as you're holding it up, I'm assuming.
No, I'm more of not holding it up like, da-da-da-da. It's just he's turning it over in his hands and inspecting the work.
Yeah, so as you do, I'm kind of like eyeing over you, like, oh, wow. Fair enough.
And he's like thumbing through the bolts inside of the case. Everything's in order. I'm satisfied. Did you need anything else, Yami?
Nope. Honestly, I'm gonna look over my bow a little more. Like, I think I'm actually kind of glad I came here for this bow. All right, yeah. Guys, go see what others are doing. What their shenanigans they're up to.
With that,
Thank you for your work.
It's quite all right. Hopefully, we will see you again, and that your weapons are strong and won't fail.
And with a chuckle, Levin's going to leave.
With that, is there anywhere else you guys would like to go?
No, but once we're at least like 20 or 30 feet away from the store, Levin is going to mention to Yami, you do realize you got fleeced for over 10 gold, right?
And this is why I don't like the big cities.
No, that's more of a... You don't have a trait for haggling. Let's acknowledge that right now.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. Honestly, at all. I'm not even good. Yeah.
Well, then consider it, instead of getting fleeced for 10, you paid for a lesson.
Next time if you want, I'll let you do the bartering.
No, you will not.
Well, I mean, is it that hard?
It's not specifically difficult, but if moods turn sour, you want someone who could smooth that over. I'm not that person.
Yeah, the girl, Cyrus.
Or Gearfried, he's alarmingly persuasive, especially with getting workers to join together for a common goal.
You know what? You're actually right. He did save me that one time from that one woman. I mean, he did slap the shit out of me, but
And you could always go the overt route and ask Fennec.
damn, I hate to say it, but Fennec does have a way of words too. Yeah, I guess, but
I would agree that he has a force of personality, and if you need things agitated, he's useful.
good old Fennec. Yeah, I prefer to use him for more dire situations.
Tactics aside, let's make our way back.
All right. Come on. Just stretching, start walking.
All right, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get back, and as you enter and you walk in through the tavern, you are going to notice that there seems to be a air of frustration, anger, discomfort going around at the table. I'm not sure which adjective is most apt. While Mei Li kind of sits there chugging her, sipping at her beer almost in an oblivious sort of way, as if she's not the most socialized individual.
Would it be correct if Levin were to see Gearfried being tired and Ceres being pensive?
I would say Gearfried is still frustrated. Gearfried, what would be the exact expression on your face?
Friggin' 20 minutes of frustrated.
Well, Gearfried, when he entered, the frustration was more just because he wanted to bitch about something. Like it was just an instance of he was like just sort of playing it up so he could, yeah. He
Gotcha.
just wanted to complain. That was it. So at this point, he's less frustrated. If anything, he's just sort of like more interested. He's bemused by Ceres's reaction.
Oh no!
To Bailey's.
Turn the amusement park into a B-amusement park.
Yes.
Now, Ceres, what would your current demeanor be?
She seems slightly less whatever she was. Now that the dancing has stopped, and she's sort of quietly just kind of sitting there, sipping her drink, watching the room. Probably seems like she's mulling or sulking.
Okay. So, as you enter, that is the kind of sight you would see where Mei Li is kind of, like I said, just obliviously sipping at her drink, noticing, oh, you guys are back. Welcome back.
Just like everybody is at normal. Cyrus sulking, Mei Li happy, and Gearfried being Gearfried. As I see Gearfried probably just how you said you were Gearfried, like just calm state, just sitting there drinking.
Yeah, he's just
he's had his moment.
Yeah, he's just kind of chilling.
I know you're probably bored as hell with these two, huh?
Let's just say one of them's not much of a talker, and the other one's well, she's been a little bit busy. Quite the apple of some other people's eyes, it would seem.
Indeed.
Who, Cyrus? Who would ever want to? And
Are you sure you're okay?
Oh no, I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Sorry, Ceres, we have a bit of business. And he holds out the crossbow bolt case and crossbow bolts.
Yes, thank you.
And
actually,
before I hand it to you, this was not a favor.
you bought yourself crossbow bolts. Interesting.
No, I procured them at your request. As such, I expect recompense.
You did not state recompense was necessary.
I asked if I could get anything for you. I've gotten
And
it.
I took you up on the offer.
Cute. 1 gold.
She is looking like she is going to vomit or spit nails or
Wait,
both.
are you being petty now? You just offered to give me 70 gold when I complained about the price that it took to store the car.
Because there's no price too high to shut you up sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just chuckling in the back watching this all happen.
He
You're the
offered
one
to bring me some. He offered to bring me something. He did not state there was a price, and now he wants money. He's changing the terms of the deal.
You never asked.
Why would you offer and then just assume to take payment?
I offered to get them for you. Are you going to complicate matters, or do I have 3 cases?
I will assume you have 3 cases.
And he's going to deposit it in front of her.
I'm confused.
You need to relax. I was going to get these for you regardless. I was interested in your response.
Okay. Interesting. Lots of people seem to be testing me today. That's wonderful.
To be honest, Levin, I'm not sure her having any new weapons is the best course of action for at least the next 8 hours.
Actually, no, I can make use of
She's
these now.
not taken too kindly to that gentleman over there.
She's not exactly loading it in front of us now, is she?
She pulls out the crossbow, starts loading
And I'm
it.
going to recommend that you don't do it in the open.
What? I'm just checking the action.
You're being overt. You're stressed.
I don't know what you mean. I'm fine. I've never been fine. I am so calm right now. Cool as a cucumber. Deadly cold as frostbite.
You know what? This calls
And
for a
with-
drink. How about we just all settle down and just drink our asses off? Forget
And
everything.
with the rate of your words per minute, you're trying to deceive someone here, and I suspect it's not any of us. So why don't you have a conversation with yourself in quiet?
Levin,
Silence is just what I need to work this new. Check these crossbow bolts for efficiency.
Levin, with your passive perception, you would notice that someone across the room keeps shooting gazes over in your table's direction.
And I'm assuming, and he's gonna he's gonna nod his head over in the general direction. That would be the individual in question,
What? Who? What?
the one that's agitating you.
I'm not agitated. Why do you think I'm agitated? I'm not agitated. Stop talking about my agitation.
Could we please?
I'm fine. I don't know what this is all about. We shouldn't be talking about me. You should be talking about the job. We have a job. We should be preparing for the job. I just want to practice killing in case it's necessary.
That said, Melee, apologies, but I do have something for you.
You do?
2 items. Generally useful, but you should find utilities with them in the coming days. And he's gonna set aside a small steel mirror and a signal whistle in front of her.
Thank you. And she's gonna kind of loosely, like very softly, blow into the whistle just to get a feel of the. Nothing loud.
You might want to do that outside. It only has 1 volume.
Oh, okay. And she's going to tuck it away. And she's going to look at the steel mirror.
That's going to be audible within a few hundred feet. And the mirror is for, and he's going to pull out his own mirror, and he's going to just turn it back and forth in his hand to where it like flashes light in Saris's eyes.
She blinks, looks around.
And that's for signaling anyone at a distance.
That's clever.
Well, you could also use it to look around corners or under doors and the like, but that would be for less honest activity.
You can also distract guards sometimes with the flashing light. Help someone get past them.
She's gonna play with the mirror and she's gonna shine it in. She's gonna shine the light in Yami's eye.
What the? Alright. Put that thing away.
But
That's
you didn't
it.
say please.
Please.
But after she made the comment, she would have put it away anyway.
That said, I apologize if my gifts for you are a little more practical than aesthetic.
No, they were quite appreciated. Thank you so much.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to get myself a beverage. Is there anyone else that wants for me to purchase around on their behalf?
I'm good, thank you. Fiddling with the hand crossbow.
I would definitely take one, please, because I am definitely spent. Literally.
You afraid the usual?
Well, the way you phrase that, I'm assuming we're paying for our own way here, and I pull out.
No, this is me offering to pay for the beverages for the round.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, give me something dwarven.
I'll see what they have. And he's just gonna get what he got for the group the night before. A couple of waters, a couple of beers, and a dwarven beverage.
And he's going to charge you the same amount as last time. I think it was 2 gold or something.
Yeah.
And you are able to make it back to the table with your beverages. At this point,
Right, and
several hours
here you
would
go.
have passed, so it is about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And
Well,
the
should we?
Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. Should we start, or should we all retire and just start preparing our things for the events of tomorrow? Not a big day, but still, we're gonna be, moving all our shit over from here to the other place.
Well, something we would need to discuss is how many people are going to be on the interior of the structure and how many people are going to be outside. As well as, did any of you prepare anything for security?
I have something in mind. I sent Cog. I mean, you were there. I gave Cogfrey to our employer, and I did have an idea that he could sort of act as an alarm. I can use one of my little tricks to make simple objects make sound. Give him a stone that makes it so it makes sound anytime he chews down on it. Flies around the mansion. If something happens, we have something of an alarm system. I assume we're going to be protecting the room that this piece is guarded in.
Specifically, we're to protect one item. If it happens to be in that room, then logically. But we shouldn't have to care about the room specifically outside of our employer's request not to overtly damage things.
That's right. But would it make more sense to guard the entire house as is, or should we just focus on...
Well,
I mean...
ask someone who's been handling themselves in the lower streets of Sharn. Saris, how would you secure an item like this?
Well, anyone who wants it's going to case the place and see what kind of security there is. There was the salt to clock us within about 2 days and figure out if we have any routines or patterns. Barring that, they will then also want to procure a layout along that same line of the building itself. So the real trick for us will be to have alarms, tripwires, traps methods of detection that will not easily be detected or known or expected.
That's with the assumption that no one will be using the area, though. He's going to have staff.
Yeah, and he said that he vetted them, but I mean, he also trusts that happening, and quite frankly, I don't believe he's.
Anybody could be paid off in this town.
Ceres,
No.
would it be reasonable to assume that anyone who would come to steal the item would have already procured a person to purchase said item immediately to fence?
If it's something like that, yes. You definitely want the buyer lined up first. Establish the demand before you create the supply.
So, barring our ability to protect this, we should at least have an arrangement to pursue the individual. Alright, that leaves me on the exterior.
I'll stand in the room with the thing the whole time. I'll be the final boss.
That might actually not be the way to go. If assuming someone does get in and try to make their way out with it, I think it'd probably be best that they, when running away, they have to focus on the fact that they're holding something. They're trying to keep something protected. They're more likely to make mistakes because getting there is going to be the easy part. If they get in.
Unless you're a spellcaster.
Which,
If worrying about magics, then we don't have methods of preparation for high level.
If a dragon-marked house can't account for that, then they deserve to be robbed.
Well, in the way of wards, I've got I have to prepare it, but I can set an alarm that will sound out if anyone passes a certain threshold. So I could, surround the object with that. So at least I'll know if something goes wrong.
I'm doing interior. I'll stay in the room with the item. If anything happens, I will be the first one to see it. If it disappears or magically picks up or somebody opens it, they'll have to talk to me first.
Might also be useful to keep Fennec in the shadows. I mean, it seems to be where he thrives. Or at least using them.
I think I like that, actually.
I guess the best way to go about this, I mean, your way of thinking was the right direction, Levin. But you asked Ceres how she would protect against something like that. I think the more apt question would be, Ceres, if we were to task you with stealing this, what exactly would you do?
Levin's gonna just face palm at that one.
I would get someone to let me inside.
Simple.
The simplest plans are usually the easiest.
Wait. We are also making the assumption that whoever is going to take it isn't already inside and waiting.
Taps her nose.
So we should probably start our little excursion into this mansion with a preliminary sweep, right? Just make sure no one's hiding in any nooks and crannies.
True, yes, but also probably just assume none of the staff are trustworthy.
The claim was that they were personally vetted by the house, but...
Assume none of the staff are trustworthy.
I'm
The
aware.
halfling got in.
Well, for doing something like this, you would assume you would install them over the course of maybe 1 month, maybe several months back.
Right. We also might want to, I mean, there's no real way to, unless you have means by which to see through illusions. I mean, we've certainly had our own instances where we've disguised ourselves via magical means. Having some sort of,
My
response.
question here. What is the value of this item that we were tasked with guarding anyway?
Would I have an idea of a possible street value for this item, given my particular background?
With your particular background, what is it that you focus on? What is your area of expertise?
I mean, she does smash and grabs. She goes in, she finds things that are valuable, and the way that works is when you go in and you're going quick, you're looking for the most valuable thing possible. She's held it in her hand, so...
Let me ask a different question. How often has your character come across dragon shards? I'm going to say it has a nice setting that's made out of gold and silver, but as for its inherent values, you didn't recognize what the stones were that it was inlaid with. So you can just assume that the setting it's in is very valuable, so you can easily get that appraised at about 1,000 gold pieces.
I have a question for Ceres as a meta. Didn't you inspect Gearfried's engine?
Yes.
So you would have had at least more immediate with a type of dragon shard in terms of handling.
I would have seen it, but she doesn't really understand what they do. She doesn't interact with them.
That's right. You were BSing.
Yep.
Well,
Okay, sorry. That was a meta question. Thank you.
Nope, no, that's okay.
if it's of any help, I could just identify the thing once we get there. I have the ability to.
Well, determining the value is the point of this thought exercise, so... My earlier suspicions from previous night was that this is some type of elaborate play at increasing the value of the object.
You're assuming someone's going to hold on to it and then sell it for a higher value once the demand goes up?
I think he's assuming that the Diorians have some sort of fancy plan in place to either add prestige by increasing the value of the item, or commit some sort of fraud and have the value of the item replaced by an insurance company.
So, to shorten the summary, dragon marked politics.
I mean, it's certainly possible. I didn't get the vibe from that guy, though. He seemed more bored with it than anything else.
Yeah, that could have been an act, though.
Well, he might not be the one in charge of that.
It's his wife's and the halfling's idea. More the halfling's idea. That alone makes me think it's probably not fraud per se.
The party planner and the merchant... yeah, he would have no obvious reason for increasing the value of an item amongst people he does business with.
It's a dragon-marked house. There are so many other ways he could do it. This is so convoluted, it's not worth the trouble.
And that tells me you have not been involved in dragon-marked politics.
Thankfully.
Actually,
I envy your inexperience.
Levin, how is it that you know so much about the Dragmark houses and all their politics?
How long have you spent in Sharn?
Not very long. I'm originally from Karnith.
Sweet summer child.
I've been in Sharn for a few years, working as a private investigator. I've had to deal with a broad range of clients. It has been more frustrating than fruitful.
I see.
So, my apologies for the speculation, but workable theories are something that I have to be mindful of.
I get it. You said you like to be prepared.
I have a preference for it.
Oh.
as you're talking, you're going to notice that you are brought another round of drinks.
Levin's gonna shoot an eye at who's bringing it.
It's from the barkeep. Or at least the barkeep's bringing it.
Apologies, I don't remember anyone asking for another round.
Oh, it was paid for.
Narrows eyes.
Might I know our benefactor?
And he's going to point, and you're going to see Ramasuduran across the hall, across the tavern.
Rolls eyes.
Levin is just gonna maintain the gaze and not just viscerally respond.
I'm definitely taking the ale or a drink.
Well, then I guess we should go and have a conversation.
I'm happy to sit this one out. He likes you a lot more anyway.
Thank you for the reminder.
But do give my regards to Uncle Ram Ram.
I'll remember you to him. And Levin's gonna get up with his beer in hand and the other beer in hand and make his way over.
He's going to actually be wearing a surprised expression on his face. Oh, you guys are coming over here?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that through the headset.
Oh, he had said, oh, you guys are coming over here. Well, you're free to join.
I figured I would extend a warm welcome and a thank you.
Oh, it was quite all right, quite all right. I figured I saw you over there. Might as well treat you to a drink.
So, how's the day's business?
Quite interesting, quite interesting. I'm going to be going off.
Anything you can talk about?
I'm going to be going off to the west for a bit. Have some political work I have to take care of. So I figured, let me spend my last night in Rote getting blasted at my favorite tavern.
Well, one would hope you're... And he's going to raise his beverage. One would hope not your final night in road.
And he's going to raise his mug and kind of cheers against yours. I would agree with that. And how about you lot? I'm glad to see nobody... Wait, hold on. Where is... And he's going to get dramatic. Sir Fennec. Did he get arrested?
And he's going to just sigh. Do you have a few minutes?
Oh, you're going to tell me he's dead, aren't you?
I would not bear such news in such a manner.
Oh, okay. Sure, I've got time.
Alright, and he's going to give him a brief summary of the day's events and what he's heard along his travels to and from the merchant. Because that was an event that happened. So, I don't have any of the particulars, but apparently there was a to-do in a public setting with a cloud of darkness, a goblin, and some alarmed individuals. But you would probably have to ask the man yourself.
You're going to kind of just notice that he just says, after you finish the retell, he's just going to laugh. Oh, things are always interesting with that one, aren't they? Isn't it?
Yes, I'm finding it mildly stressing, but...
No.
You said you were traveling west. How far?
Oh, about a week, 2 weeks travel.
A week by rail or a week by coach?
The first 3 days is going to be by lightning rail. The rest is going to be by coach. Now, did you mention on Ruse's name in your retail?
Remind me the name.
On Ruse.
Thank you. Yes, Levin would not have thought to hide that piece of information.
You're going to see that Ramos has a pensive expression on his face. On Ruse. Why does that name sound? Oh, yes.
See, it's
He was-
been on my mind as well, and I was hoping you could at least educate me.
If my memory serves me correctly, about 10 years ago, he was an apprentice to a mage, or a mage or an artificer. Forget which one. Body knockers. Something body knockers. He
Well,
was.
I'm afraid you've lost me on that one.
Oh, that's the name of the individual. Body knockers.
Ah, gotcha.
And if I'm not mistaken, he had sold his skills, advertising himself as being able to translate draconic prophecy.
That and 2 copper and Sean would get you the same thing, but what did he specialize in?
Well, apparently, the pieces he had gotten his hands on, his translation seemed to be correct, which is why he had gotten the esteem that he had. But then he just went unheard of. I haven't heard mention of him since the war ended.
So it's been a few years.
Indeed.
Well, that would explain why I've not heard the name.
So it's interesting that you saw him at a party. Oh, being glad. And you're gonna give me an insight check. Anybody who was there and listening or participating in the conversation.
Here's my insight.
I would have stood back with service.
Yep, the hot garbage. My mind is on other things with the information I've been given.
Gearfried's interested in the metal leg, so he's paying attention.
Gearfried, you're gonna notice that the expression is attempting to be masked with like an aloof interest, but for a moment or two, it looks like a flash of concern crosses his face.
I'm only listening, I'm not participating.
That's what you would observe. Hopefully everything is hunky-dory and there's nothing that is suspicious and I'm just paranoid. It's a very big possibility, you know, when you lose your leg, it's very hard not to distrust people.
I've dealt with suspicious individuals before, and with suspicions of individuals before. So that's not a strange thing to me. And Levin's gonna lean a little bit and lower his voice when he says this next thing to Ramos. As a personal favor to you, would you want me to keep an eye out for any individuals of note?
No, but if you see anything noted, please, as you always have, be sure to inform.
I'll at the very least prepare a report. And he's gonna pull back.
It is appreciated.
Thank you for the beverage, and thank you for the conversation, if you'll excuse me.
Of course, enjoy your night.
And you as well. Safe travels.
And with you, may your job go peacefully.
as boring as the day is long, one would hope.
That's always the dream.
Hmm.
And
He's gonna tilt this glass and make his way back to the group.
as you start walking off, you are going to notice that shortly after he is joined by a female who looks ex-military who has a robotic prosthetic arm.
All right.
Oh, cool.
All right, new information for the group. Does anyone care for a listen?
Sure. What's going on?
And Levin's gonna recant as accurately as he can what Ramos just told him.
I feel like he might have been lying about something.
Misinformation, disinformation, or omission of information?
Well, he said
Would you figure?
Well, it might have been a mistake on his part, but he said he's heading west. The lightning rail.
Yes. Some days by rail, some days by coach.
Well, I mean, the closest he's going to get going west is just Sharn, unless the lightning rail made some new additions I'm not aware of.
With regards to the rail, I only know that going west would take you towards Balford, and then north to Galaspire, and then Ardry would be the next large city. If you're taking it all the way west, that would be northwest to Threshold.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, doesn't it only go north from where we are? Doesn't it only go northeast?
No, it goes northeast and then branches off out of quite literally nowhere, and he's going to chuckle at that before heading further east to Staralasker and further east towards Valtherald.
Maybe
But no, it's, if you're heading west from here specifically, you have two branches. One would be going southwest to Sean, and the other would be going west and then north over to Ardy and Threshold.
Yep, so with the lightning rail, going back to the map, you can either branch off to where Audir is, which would be northwest, or you can branch east, which is where you were with New Seer.
Sorry, Ardev. I misspoke.
If he is taking the lightning rail for 2 days, that would pretty much bring him close to Sean. Because
if he was going southwest, yeah.
Or that, yeah. Or, so, yeah, 2 days up. So he didn't really say where he was going. He just said 2 days by...
Nor did I ask.
Exactly. He just said 2 days by the lightning rail and then the rest by coach.
Alright, so mildly interested in what he might be up to. He seemed a little concerned when you were talking to him, though. I don't know what your conversation was about, but something didn't sit right with him.
I brought up the name Aoun. If it's about an individual. As for his travels, I did not inquire specifically where he was going, just that he noted he had a task of politics to tend to.
Well, consider me completely uninterested.
Why does everyone say that about politics?
Because it's politics.
We literally just got done with a war about them.
Yeah, that's old news, though. Let's do something new.
You said you were from Karnath. You were literally one of the 5 nations.
Yes, I know. I'm taking.
And Levin is just like he's straight manning this.
Right. Anyway, shall we retire for the night? I'm feeling a little tired.
I have meditations to get to, but I'll be turning in soon, yes. And he's going to lean over. And you lot?
And so
Is he
Saris...
talking to? Oh.
Saris, Yami, and Meili. Meili is going to yawn. I think I'm ready for bed, too.
Reasonable.
What was that?
No, go ahead, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, it's reasonable. Like, probably good time for sleep. Should look into that. Yes. Sleep. That thing you all do.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire too. It's been a interesting day shopping and whatnot, walking around town.
Alrighty. With that, we're gonna take a quick break, with a quick 5-minute break or so. Then we're gonna we are going to come back, and we are going to do a brief time skip, where your job is going to begin. So with that, everybody who is watching, we will be right back. Stay tuned and check out our website, check out our Patreon support, and yeah, be right back.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our one.
And we are back, and we are live, and we are moving forward. With this, the time has now progressed, and we have moved on to the day of the week 5, where this mission is to start taking place. So I'm going to start shifting the map over. Gotta change. So, with this, you all approach the main gate. You notice that it is surprisingly quiet. You don't see guards posted, or at least only 2 guards that were expecting a group of travelers to come in, or a group to come.
A little lower.
Hmm. I'm definitely suspicious already.
Okay. There we go. With that, you are shown through the gate, and you are led up to the main estate and led to the door. You notice that there's somebody standing and opening the door, somebody dressed in a very prim and pristine button-down suit, almost close to a tuxedo-styled suit. And this human individual motions for you to enter into the main lobby. So they would be motioning for you to enter. As you enter, the doors quickly shut behind you, and you are almost motioned to move away from direct window sight. Oh, hello, and welcome to the estate. Master has requested I give you this letter.
All right, let's see it.
Okay? As you
Take
open
it.
the letter, you are going to see the handwriting and the seal of the House Orion. You are also going to see the elaborate and almost calligraphy, almost a form of calligraphy as this individual's writing this note. And the terms of the note pretty much refresh what was requested of you. There is mention, you once entering the house, you are unable to leave due to not wanting any attention drawn to the situation. You are free of the house. The house is fully stocked. The only people who are going to be moving in and out are the wait staff, or the house staff. So the cooks, the maids, things like that. You have free reign of the house. The only area that is off limits is his study. And the maids and butlers are at your request.
Okay. Well, it basically just says what he told us from the very beginning. We're to guard the house. We have free reign of it. Don't go into the study. So, Saris, don't go into the fucking study.
Duly noted.
Saris, look at me. It is important to me that you don't go into the study.
You should point out where the study is so I can make sure I avoid it.
You know she's going right to the study, don't you?
I do, but here's what you all need to understand. Technically speaking, I am still affiliated with the Orion House. I owe them a lot of money. So, if anything happens and I'm to be blamed, they're gonna break my fucking kneecaps.
What I'm hearing is that it's a victimless crime.
Saris, I'm begging you. Just don't go into the fucking study.
Gifford, I do believe that you're making an error here. You're begging her and not paying her.
True. But I also know he's hot up for money.
Well, hopefully once this job goes well, after we protect the peace and don't go into his study, I'll finally have some expendable income.
Indeed.
That said, I would like to know where his study is located so that we can at least
Avoid
be
going
certain.
into it.
Well, I would assume it would be the door that's locked, but I don't want to start testing doorknobs.
Locked doors are so subjective. It's hard to tell when one's really locked. They all open so easily.
While you guys doing that, I'm gonna search all the exits and perimeter. Just make sure I know where every exit is and opening is.
Okay. So are you guys asking the butler to show you where the study is?
Like why don't we just ask for the tour so we just know the place in general?
Hmm.
I'm sure the
Sounds
study
good.
will be mentioned along the way.
That's reasonable.
Fair enough.
Well,
we take a
okay.
tour?
Okay, of course you can take a tour. Please follow me. And with that, he is going to start leading you around the house. So here you would have a reading room. Here is here is the lounge area where you would find his booze and things like that. The kitchen area would be here, with storage here and here. Bedrooms are all what's on the top floor. The dining area would be here. That could be where you're eating dinner if you don't want to. The locked door is here.
Like a parlor than a study, but sure.
And then no, that is his study. Just because it looks like...
I'm assuming any other door that would lead there is also subsequently locked?
Yes. And then
Okay.
this would be the equivalent of the ballroom that you were in the previous evening.
And where is the item gonna be at?
The item is going to be presented in or held in this room here.
Okay.
There is several item cases. So some of them look like relics of wars that predate the 100-Year War. Others look
Ooh.
like heirlooms that were from the 100-Year War. And then in the center of the room, on the desk, in a case, you would see the necklace itself.
Okay. So we technically got a whole layout. We know all the windows, the exits, entrances.
Pretty much.
Alrighty.
You mentioned needing time with this in order to more accurately ascertain any properties.
Yeah, I wanted to cast Identify on the thing.
Okay.
So, Gearfried will hold up what looks like one of those like looking at a play magnifying glass things that rich people have.
For glasses.
Yeah, but it's like got some sort of like weird rig up to it. It's just for flavor. It's what I use to cast Identify. And Gearfried will rock up to the necklace, or at least the room where the necklace is.
Okay. So, Gearfried, what is your familiarity with dragon shards?
I would have heard of them, at the very least.
Certainly worked with them.
So,
Yeah, because the car.
how many different types of dragon shards would your character know of?
Oh,
We definitely. What's that?
I was gonna say, you have like a functional knowledge of the different types, if only to avoid putting them in the wrong. Like only some of them work in your car, right?
Only one of them, only one type out of the three are used in the vehicles.
In that instance, Gearfried would at least know the right kind of crystal to use. So if he sees the thing, he would at least know it's not. It's one of the
So-
other two, if it's not the third.
You can tell that it's not a Kyber Dragon Shard, but you can tell that there's also it is a magical item.
Okay, wait. Actually casting the spell.
Because that would be what detect does. It does allow you to see if the item is magical. So you do see that magic is radiating off of it, but you also know that it's radiating off of it the same way that a dragon shard would. But
Right,
you can tell that. Yep.
So hold on. Sorry, I'm casting identify not on the shard. I'm casting it on the necklace, the item of the necklace to discern if it's like a.
It's all one piece.
The necklace itself is. These stones are embedded within the necklace. They are the stones that make up the necklace.
Right. And it's not like... Sorry. The way I was assuming that you were taking it was that, like, if we were looking at, like, a ruby amulet, I'm just identifying the ruby. That I wanted to cast it on the amulet specifically because, you know, I'm more curious if it's a magical piece of, like, you know, a magic accessory that will enhance anything. If not, then it's not. I just...
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's not an amulet that's inside of it. It's embedded with dragon shard crystals.
Okay. All right.
So at least in that necklace, that's what I mean. So you can tell that it's not Kyber dragon shards, the ones that you're used to.
Right.
So but it is a reddish hue in nature. So it's not like any ruby you've ever seen, and it's not like any dragon shard that you're accustomed to.
All right. Well, I originally thought this thing might be like, got some sort of incredible enchantment on it. It's just a very, very magically imbued piece of jewelry. There's dragon shard crystals on it.
Well, I mean, I would assume it has some value for guarding it. But, yeah. Cyrus, you said something about setting up some traps or anything? You said alarms, Gearfried?
Oh, yes. Her eyes are dilated like a cat's looking at a mouse when she looks around the room.
Come on, I'll come help you with those. Let's go.
Fine. And did you say there's no staff here? It's just us?
Nope, there is staff, so you do have the maids and the butlers who are still here. You are going to be having a chef or the cook, the kitchen staff coming in more as a making sure that items don't go bad type of thing. So it's more of a maintenance that they come in, but they are going to be cooking for you.
Also, you can't do the front doors and the back doors.
Gearfried will activate his armor, use his spell focus, and cast alarm around the... as a ritual. It takes 11 minutes, but I'm just going to be setting an alarm around the immediate spot where the necklace is.
Alrighty.
And in the interim, actually, I guess I should ask. I mean, I'm fairly decent with killing time. Stuck in one place. I mean, it's kind of what I do when I just work on my various equipment pieces. I could just set up in here and go about work while paying attention to this.
So you're gonna stay in the room with the amulet?
Yeah.
All right. As long as one of us is in here.
I mean, you both can stay if that's what you want. I am probably going to prowl around, watch the staff.
All right, Mei Li, would you like to watch with us?
Yeah, leave Mei Li with us. At least me and Gifford keep her here with us, so you don't have to worry about her.
No, right. Wouldn't do that. No worries.
No, thank you.
Huh?
And she's going to follow off with Ceres.
Sensible. Very sensible.
I thought so. But with that, is it just going to be Yami and Ceres, Yami and Gearfried sitting in that room all day, every day for 2 weeks, or how do you want to start working the shifts?
Not just Yami and Gearfried. Gearfried whistles and Cogfried flies in from another room.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do shifts. I guess rotations.
Yeah, I mean, that seems reasonable.
It's 2 weeks at least. Sometimes we'll take double shift.
Yeah, I mean, all that's good with me as long as we're, making sure both.
My
eating and-
bedroll is gonna be in that room, so I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, but I'm sleeping in that room.
Okay.
I'll
With
be
that-
working the night shift, and I'll be maintaining patrols.
The first day goes relatively uneventfully. Everybody give me a perception check.
I've been rolling decently, which means that this is going to be a natural 1, I bet.
Finally, bedroll.
See, bad roll. Call it.
But it wasn't a 1. You didn't necessarily call it.
Rolled my passive.
So, as you guys are kind of making your rounds around the building, Ceres, as you're walking around with Mei Li, you're going to hear different conversations from the staff, and nothing is really negative towards Horadin. But you get a general feel that his wife isn't as light in the house.
Can't
So,
imagine why.
over the course of this time, you'd kind of hear some ramblings like, you believe that just 2 weeks ago she decided she wanted a carpet in the middle of the foyer? Like, who puts a giant circular carpet in the middle of the foyer? She doesn't even understand how hard it is to clean.
Ceres nods knowingly. Carpets in the foyer. Terrible. She's a monster.
Other
Bitches
conversations you might hear is, I saw her, and it's more gossiping between some of the maids. I saw her in Master Orion's room, his office. She had a couple of books with her.
Who will sort of make myself known in that conversations like, hello, I'm so sorry. I couldn't help but overhear your little conversation. I am just a wee bit curious. Would you be able to point out which books she was reading?
You're gonna notice that they freeze up, and they start hurrying to get to work.
No. Stop.
Give me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
One of them continues to clean. The other stops and hesitantly looks in your direction.
Look,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not particularly interested in who told me what or where the information come from. I'm just curious about the books specifically.
We didn't see him, ma'am.
Oh. You
We just
couldn't
saw her
tell
leaving
me?
with. No,
Mm.
some of them are very old and worn.
Has she been interested in a lot of books lately, or is this a new hobby of hers?
Honestly, madam, it's very hard to really answer that because she gets frustrated and angry whenever anybody gets into her business.
Ah, sounds like she can't read. A little bit ashamed. Makes sense.
If you say so, madam.
Yeah, ignore me. I'm just rolling thoughts in my head. Silly, common thoughts.
You're going to notice that she kind of curtsies and scurries off.
Yeah, I won't pursue it after that. I will let it go.
Um,
And I will turn to
think-
Melee. It's like, that was not me doing well.
What was all that about?
Overheard them talking about the lady of the house being in the master's home, study with books, and I was curious if I could track down which books in particular there might have been. I will find a different member of the house staff. And this house has like a steward. Who's the guy that gave us the tour?
He is. Give me a investigation check. This is more or investigation or perception to see if you can find him.
The perception.
Okay. You are able to find him in the dining room as he's kind of cleaning up every small little specks of non-existent dirt and dust.
Yes. I will shake my boots to provide him a sense of job security with as I leave dust on the floor. I know that's not actually how he's gonna take it.
Hearing the shaking of boots, he is going to look up and his eyes are going to flash with anger before he takes a deep breath and he looks as if he was unfazed completely.
Excellent. Love the professionalism. Ceres will walk up. Excuse me. I'm just getting used to the majesty of this estate. It's so much to take in, and I have virtually no experience with this sort of environment. I was wondering if you could, so it came to my attention that the lady of the house had taken an interest in some books. I was hoping perhaps she had consulted you, or you had put them away on her behalf or something. Just wondering if I could peruse those books and see what their contents were.
Excuse me, ma'am. That is none of your concern, and I'd actually like to inquire as to where you have heard anybody speaking any ill of milady.
No one spoke ill. It just came to my attention as something that she might have done, because I heard the halfling.
If you could just tell me who it was who informed you of this, I would be appreciative.
You might not have noticed, I was in attendance at the party a few days ago, and she mentioned some books to the halfling gentleman that was accompanying her.
Give me a deception check, please.
Can I use guidance?
He's gonna know you're gonna use guidance.
Fair enough. I will just do this the normal way.
But you do have an inspiration in the group pool.
I am going to use that inspiration. There we go.
So, with that, he is going to... He is suspicious of the comment, but he is going to look as if he is believing your story.
Plausible as anything else he can come up with.
Well, I, of course, cannot fill you in on any of those details, even if I were privy to them. It is not any... It would be a shame if any of this staff were talking about the ins and outs of private matters with. And he's going to look you up and down. Gods? I guess.
Smiles. Sure, gods. Good a title as any for a commoner.
And he's going to turn his back and he's going to resume cleaning. Extending to your perception check, you are going to hear just the single muttering word of thief.
Rude. And she's just, Saris will turn around and leave. Come along, Melee. This is probably not the best place to be at the moment. Don't want to upset anyone.
Well, I think it was because you made his floor dirty.
No.
Are you
He
sure?
needs- She gives her Amelie a little wink. It's like, yes, I'm sure.
Okay. And you're going to notice that she kind of like taps her foot on the floor, knocking any little bits of dust on the floor from her shoes. Emulating your action.
Sarah smiles, the devil's smile, knowing that corruption is. Yep, that's kind of what she'll be have taken care of now.
Alrighty. Levin, what would you be doing within the realms of this first day?
Just establishing a patrol route, making it like obvious to the staff if they're monitoring him as he's getting along, and just going through each room, going in, checking for minutes, and then moving to the next, establishing a daytime pattern of behavior.
Okay. Are you doing anything in specific, anything you're looking into, or just first really just establishing the pattern?
Just pattern establishment. What we'll be doing in the evening will be vastly different.
All right, we'll find out about that in a few minutes. Gearfried, you and Yami are in that room together.
Mhm.
What would you
Yep.
guys be doing?
Really quick. Is this going back to the item that would protect that? Is it in a case of any kind?
It is in a glass case.
Okay. In that case, Gearfried is going to walk up to it. I don't know something else, but can I dark lock on a not door, or can I use it on like glass case?
Let me double check the spell real quick.
If it opens, if it is an opening thing, you can unlock it.
You touch a little door, window, gate, chest, or other entryway.
Not necessarily, because you have to lift it, so there's no real lock on it. It's not like there's a door that you can open and close. It's not like a window that you can open. It's literally a glass cube, or 5 sides of a cube that you lift off.
Alright, worth a try.
No, it's definitely worth a shot.
Gearfried will just be taking a shift, switching out with me. As he does so, he's not in the room specifically, he'll leave Godfrey in there, and just go about walking around the house. Talk on where the halls are.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
Sorry.
let's get a little sample of this. So you run into a butler and a maid.
Hey, how's it doing?
Very well, very well. How are you?
Just about my business. You're all. How do you two been here? You seem fairly comfortable.
For a while for me. For her, 2 or 3 years.
That's quite some time. You must be great master, right? They must offer some perks to actually work here. I can't imagine. I mean, like, we've been in the city and just fucking crazy expensive.
You're gonna notice that they seem taken aback by the language you're using.
Do I notice that they
You can give me a perception, a insight check. Hey, and you can't blame me for that one. You were completely oblivious.
I mean, I guess really ask like why are you here for so long? I mean, you both see come and in your prime, or just places well paying and treats employees right.
The Lord Diorian is one of the kindest masters we've ever had. His father, too, was quite astounding.
Oh, so you've really been with this family now for a while then.
As I said, I have. He would be in his upper 50s at this point.
Right, sorry, it's world we live in, never really sure how long we live, or whether they like every certain age now it is.
No, of course. I left this family briefly for a stead, but that was back when everyone had to serve a specific amount of time in the war. Thankfully, I did my time unscathed and managed to return to quite a household.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all. Appreciate it. But I'm just really small talk here. You know, it's quite just watch something and make sure you're not happy to it. So.
Indeed.
By the way, you said the house has been lovely to you. Any other family members' house? Just him and his wife.
You're going to notice that as you mention the wife, the maid is going to get a sour expression on her face. No, everybody here is quite wonderful. Everything is a pleasure to work. And he is going to be using a very convincing tone.
I see. Sorry, more question. We actually have met the Lord, the lady of the house, twice before, actually. Maybe with another individual, short, I'm going his name was, Aiden Allen, something like that. Is he around?
Master Room. He has been a frequent visitor over the last month or so. Particularly with the planning of the party that he was involved in.
Pretty good about he talked about the PC that was going on. Like, he seemed to be showing off. Did he specifically make many references?
Oh, from what I know, he always seems to enjoy viewing. Sorry
for interrupting your duties.
Of course. Well, I must return to what I must do. And he's going to walk off. Moments later, the young maid is going to attempt to do the same.
As they're leaving, are they like far enough by her side? Will you notice this?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, you're going to pull her aside. Excuse me, sorry. Hold on. I couldn't notice. Seemed to make a bit of a face when I met the lady at the house. Is there anything that I get the impression that reveres in that house?
Give me a persuasion check.
Exactly one.
I will allow it.
Okay. I swear to God, I roll a 3.
I'm gonna laugh. Hell, I might give you. I might just give you an inspiration because.
Midway, 7 total. I thought that was 1.
I don't want to speak ill of the family, but ever since she entered the fold, it's been quite horrid.
How long has she been married?
3 years. Their engagement began just shortly after my arrival.
Aha. Well, sorry, no, I won't say a word. I know that hostile employers take things very personally, make life hell.
Now I have to go clean that gut off the carpet. And she's gonna walk off.
I was gonna mention, why the fuck is there a carpet in the foyer?
I don't know. All I know is that I went home one day and there was no carpet. Came back the next day and there was a carpet.
I mean, no wonder there's a cardboard for what the fuck's a carpet foyer? It's classless.
Well, the lady says that it's all the rave. And with that, she is going to walk off to go and do her job.
Right.
Yami, how about you? What would you like to do?
I mean, it's been blood, man. There's no one around. I mean, I would be listening and carrying, but I wouldn't really ready to talk about it. There's no need to just stop me or there's new things to interact. I have to just everybody around, frequenting anything.
Okay.
I'm listening to every day.
All right. With that, we're going to just time skip ahead to the evening where the dinner bell rings. You are all summoned to the dining area. The curtains are all drawn. The table is set for 5. And the food smells delicious. And let me just make a small correction. When I say drawn, I misspoke. They are closed. So any onlookers would not be able to see it. You are able to sit down to this wonderful smelling feast that has been prepared for you. What would you like to do?
And the person who prepared the food also smelled it.
Yes.
I'd like to wave them over.
Yes. How can I help you?
Apologies, I'm not familiar with this dish. If you could tell me a little about it.
Oh, it's duck with a sauce that's mostly comprised of vegetables, sage, and other things of that nature. It's quite a delicacy. It's one of the master's favorites.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to gesture that he needed in for a whisper.
Okay.
My apologies. I'd be having my own food. There's reasons the most part, but I'll have to apologize. I'm only this.
It's quite all right. I appreciate your information. Your informant. So, in the future, should I prepare a meal for you?
No, I would make preparations when I was told about this job.
Understood.
And I'll lean back and I'll start like pushing some of the food around me like I'm eating it. I'm not having a bite.
Alrighty. And for the rest of you?
Okay. I feel conflicted because I don't think. Okay, I guess what I should ask is, would Gearfried have noticed the hesitancy with which Levin had when it came to the food?
Are you paying attention to Levin?
Well, I mean, we're
in short version. Over like 5 minutes, would you have noticed that I'm not actually taking a bite?
Yeah,
It's plainly obvious if you've been having a conversation at the table.
right. But he said the food down. He called him up, so I wouldn't say that because we were at the same table.
Yes, but I would have had touchdowns.
Okay. Can I roll? I guess whatever. Can I roll insight to see if your would be like, oh, that seems he seems to be making a big deal about the food. Can I roll insight to see if he would have that thought?
What do you
It's
think?
not a roll against me, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead. Alright. So yeah, you would kind of notice.
Okay, then kind of it's instantaneous. I haven't prepared. Can I cast Purify Food Drink on the meal that I'm having option then?
Is there a verbal component to this? So yes, you can, but it does not go unnoticed.
No, verbal is like actually distinct from regular language. That's yeah, that's why subtle aspects. I can't tell source versus stuff.
Can I roll, or can I try to get as stealthy as I can?
You go ahead and give me a stealth
That's
spell.
why stealth spell exists. Magic sorcerers don't really step on their toes.
I mean, you try to like hand or stealth, and there's no risk of failure.
Yep. So with the 13, it definitely goes noticed. And even though the chef doesn't make a stink of it, you can see it clearly on his face that he's agitated. But the food is pure. It wasn't poison.
I wouldn't know it wasn't unless anyone else could.
But yeah, you know your food is pure.
I don't know what I mean. It's fine by me.
Paranoid.
Alright, the rest of you see Levin pull the chef aside. You see Gearfried purify his food. You see an angry chef. What are the rest of you doing?
Eating when like start talking.
Yeah.
It is delicious and it is not poisoned. Melee is to eating. You would also have some of the stewards and butlers who are there pouring you wine or any other beverage you would ask.
The chef is going by. Sarah stops and I'm just like, it's right. Is it coming with you?
It certainly is, madam.
Can't wait to see that.
And with that, is there anything that you guys would like to discuss for the day's with each other for the day's events?
Yeah. me know the say.
Alrighty. And
I'm
with that,
pissed off that I have to do it.
I feel like that's a big thing to say.
Yeah, she would say. He just, he made me pissed. He'll get over it.
As you notice that your bed is the only one not turned down.
You kidding me? If it had a
Oh man. With that, we are going to pause here for the evening, and we will resume next week with seeing if the rest of their 2-week stay here is going to be as peaceful as today. With that, thank you everybody who has tuned in. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you watch us later, thank you again. Please check us out on Patreon, check us out on YouTube, check us out on Twitch, Facebook, and on Instagram. Support us so that we can continue creating some awesome stories, and thank you for joining us, our wonderful players of the evening.
All right, guys.
Later.
Good night.